So that's okay.
Are you gonna hold it like that?
No, I'm gonna lean because
I'm
lazy.
Prop it up. Are you sure? Do you want to do that?
We're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's good. She's done a few already today.
All right, nice.
She's got it all covered.
Okay.
And I think I'm ready. You ready?
Fire away. I'm ready.
All right, fantastic. All right, I'm here with Ian Bohen, and he's just literally arrived at 7 a.m. this morning. He's been on a plane for 14 hours, and I'm just so delighted to meet you.
Well, likewise, I'm happy to be here.
How are you?
I'm terrific. I love traveling and I love this country, and it's something to look forward to, so I'm always happy to be here.
That's wonderful to hear, that you love this country, number one.
Some of my best friends are Australian. There's a huge Australian contingent in LA, and they're all similar. They all love life and food and, drinking wine and telling stories, and it's got a, good feel. And Paul Hodge is one of my best friends, and he's from not too far away from here. So anyway, point is, when you get here, you get to see like the whole of that people in one place instead of just the one person in my place. So it's just, it makes sense.
It's a great celebration.
100%. Absolutely.
Party.
Yes. Eat and drink and be merry.
And you'd be the host of the party, the celebration.
I just try to keep up.
Do you?
Yeah. You think Paul Hodge is crazy? You should see his parents. They drink him under the table.
Well, Aussies have a good reputation for drinking.
Yeah, but it's in a fun way. It's good spirited. It's like, even on the plane. So I got on the plane real quick. Mm-hmm. And we sit down, and it's like midnight, the plane's late, so we're just kind of settling in, and there's these two Aussie guys, and you can hear them, and they're still going from like 3 nights prior, and they're talking about rum and coke, and everyone's like, what the hell? And then, so you're like, and then after 5 minutes, you start giggling because they're so funny, and next thing you know, you're like trying to participate, and there's just these two Aussie guys are just hilarious, and we're like, that's what it is. So anyway, the whole cabin was like, okay, you guys are funny.
I feel there's a script coming on.
Yeah, right? So anyway, that was the beginning of Good Flight.
That's great. No, that's excellent to hear. Now, we've got to start with your character, Peter, on Teen Wolf. How did you, research for that role, Alpha?
Well, when I first got the job, I read for a couple of different characters. And then I got hired, but I didn't know what I'd gotten hired to do, and not even until I got to work. Okay. And it wasn't until almost the end of the season when I was told that I was this alpha character. Yeah. So before then, I was just trying to, piece it together and do whatever the day's words were. Yeah. And then it wasn't until the second season that I started to try to think about his motivations, his past, just his personality traits and his character and what he thinks about, so that he has a reasonable way to interact with people that makes sense. When you look back, you'll go, oh, I get why he did that, and I get why he did that, and I get why he did that. In the moment you might not, but it all seems to make sense linearly. Is that a word, linearly? I think it is. So yeah, that's the answer that I have for that question.
Okay, cool. How long does it take to turn yourself into Peter, the process?
In terms of the burn makeup, or you just think?
Makeup.
That takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. Sometimes it could be as much as 6 or 8 if it's the full body, and then it takes about half to take off. Whatever it takes to put on, about half to take off. So it's a lot of mental time.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's not a lot. It sucks. Because they put sticky stuff all over your face, and it's just like, and it's just something you kind of bear through and figure out. And then, but when you see it and you see yourself in the mirror, it's like, it's so much easier to play your character in those moments because you know what you are. So the words just come out that way. That's the neat part.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it does make sense.
I think we're gonna go with yes.
Yes. And okay. Now, also, you've played a lot of historical characters in your time.
A couple.
And one of them is Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've got to go to someone that is like on the top of my list of like the ultimate favourite actors that you have worked with, which is Kevin Costner.
He's outstanding. I'm actually working with him right now on a brand new show.
Oh,
And
okay. Let's just keep talking.
so this Wyatt Earp was over 20 years ago, and so we were talking on this thing that we just started a couple of months ago, and when we were talking about Wyatt Earp, and he looked at me and he thought for a second, and then he said some of the lines from Wyatt Earp 20 years ago, and I was like, damn it, how could you possibly remember that? He's so on it and so present that stuff is still, he thinks about it. I played young him in Wyatt Earp, and he remembered like our family slogan, what Gene Hackman used to say, and the thing that would permeated the rest of that film. And anyway, so 2 weeks ago he would look at me and he would say those lines to me, and I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. The show was called Yellowstone. And he's the patriarch of the Yellowstone Ranch and the John Dutton family. He plays John Dutton. It's set in contemporary Montana, and it follows the family struggle, the developers that want to change the land, the native people who the land's been taken from, and other sort of criminal elements. And it's got sex and violence and power struggle, and it's really interesting. So I play modern day cowboy and a law enforcement officer that is in all of that. It's cool. And,
oh my God.
Yeah, and Kevin is just like, he's incredible to be around. The stories, the way he approaches his work nowadays. He's a pro. He's just like any other actor. He wants to do the scene well. And he pays attention and he listens and he's patient. And it's just like, it's outstanding to have someone like that you get to be with.
I'm just in awe of the fact that you're, working with someone that I admire and have admired so much in my time.
Yeah.
But, I was a big fan of Westerns myself growing up, so I, of course, John Wayne and all the John Wayne sort of Westerns and, and Rawhide with Clint Eastwood and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and even then Unforgiven later on.
Yeah.
So this one, you could call it a contemporary Western.
Yeah.
It's got lots of horses, lots of ranching, lots of that element, but with all of the modern day elements that go along with it. So I'm playing a cowboy, but a cowboy in 2017. 2017,
which is fantastic. It's cool. Good to see that element coming back.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, and and Kevin Costner is also a musician nowadays.
Yeah.
Have you seen him play?
I've never seen him play. In fact, he's playing tonight in Park City, Utah, which is where we shoot. Him and his band are doing like a festival, so the entire crew and casting crew are there to see him. But he tours all over the place. I mean, he a couple times a month he'll fly with his band and come and do shows. Yeah, so he's great.
So that's his other passion that he's just fulfilling.
Yeah, a lot of actors are musicians as well. Mike Malarkey, who's here from Vampire Diaries for this con this weekend, he's a musician.
Yeah.
He's a singer, he's a songwriter, and I don't even know which one he likes better, but that's just another example of how different artists want to make different kind of stuff.
Are you going down that path?
I wish I could sing. I would trade acting to be a rock star in a heartbeat.
Really?
100%. To stand on stage and have people listening to what you're doing and putting out and singing your songs back and like feeling it. So acting, like when you do it, even if you do your best performance, you're on camera and the crew's around and you do it and they go, cool, let's move on. And you're like, well, but I've just done this. We're supposed to do something. No one cares. Yeah. But when you sing to them, right, I can only imagine.
Well, you'll just have to get into the Kevin Costner band.
And I'm sure he's got a voice. At singing. No, they'd be like, that guy, get him off the stage. No, he's not allowed anymore.
We'll play tambourine.
Ring the dinner bell, Ian. The dinner bell? I got it.
Oh, love it. Oh my God. What are you going to do while you're in Vegas? What do you want to do?
In Brisbane?
Yeah. Is there anything special?
I like to play tennis. And a buddy of mine used to teach at Pat Rafter that complex, so he'll play tennis with me there. This is like a hub for the country and for like world tennis, the city. And I'm always trying to learn, so that's something I really like to do when I'm here. I know it sounds weird, but I like to do that. And I want to go walk on the water and have dinner along the riverfront and maybe take a boat.
Yeah. And we've got some great weather for you at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Yeah,
so that's
very
good.
hot.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Is there anything else that you want to fulfill in your career? In
Oh, God.
the future? What's the other roles you'd like to do?
I would like to, what I think about the roles that I want to do would be roles that are, where I'm unrecognizable as Ian, where you might look at it and go, that's not his mannerism, that doesn't look like him, doesn't talk like him, and you would forget that it's me. Normally, most actors, it's them.
Mm-hmm.
Their same speech, same look. It's, Tom Cruise is a great example. Wonderful actor, but it's always Tom Cruise. You always know who that guy is.
Yes.
Daniel Lewis, you wouldn't have any clue that that's him in all of his roles. I would like to do something more like that.
Okay.
And it's hard to get the opportunity, but
It's finding the right sort of scripts, isn't
Mhm.
it? Yeah.
that sounds exciting. And it's also frightening because you could fail at that kind of thing
Yeah.
much more easily than you can just being you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that's what I have in mind. Really stretch pieces where you really have to be pulled apart and not break.
Okay.
I like that. I don't remember that.
Okay.
Mozzarella,
Cool.
the Italians would say.
Do you have Italian heritage?
No, but I like to go there and
Do you?
eat their food.
Oh, goodness, that's it. I'm Italian. I like that. So, is there any desire, are there any other actors that you would love to, work with in the future?
I would like to work with Michael Keaton. I would like to work with Judi Dench. I ran into Helen Mirren once, about 4 years ago, coming out of somewhere. We had just like a 10-second interaction, and I was so in awe and so attracted to this woman. I would love to work with her. Sally Field, a lot of women lately. I would seem to want to act with women more than I do the men that I would like to like. Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg would be my sort of contemporaries, but I think that the stronger women are more appealing at the moment to watch them in a scene.
Cool.
So I'd say Helen Mirren would probably be my top, and Judi Dench.
And Judi Dench,
Yeah.
yeah, they're two amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Legends.
Legends, I love that word.
Yeah, they are. They're incredible for the woman gender,
Mm-hmm.
in the arts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What piece of advice that you would leave for an actor that's emerging in the industry right now?
I actually thought about this not too long ago. If you're brand new, if you're just getting started, I would say don't try to be good. Try to not be bad. Because you don't have to be great. You can get in a lot of trouble trying to be great. You can just be okay. If you're bad, you don't get much of a chance at all. So it's worse to be in the middle and not great than it is to try too hard and to be bad. So try to not be bad. I'm sorry. Don't try to be good, try to not be bad. To begin with. That's number one. I know it doesn't make sense, if you think about it long enough, it makes sense, trust me. I've been working on this for 20 years. Buy my book. I don't have one yet, but I will one day.
What title will it be?
Stark Raving.
Stark what?
Stark Raving.
Stark Raving.
That, yes.
I love it.
That would be the title.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I can't wait to read that.
I will give you a free copy.
Oh,
Just pay shipping and handling.
okay. No problem.
$29 for shipping.
It's been an ultimate delight talking to you.
Likewise.
Ian.
I'll see you next time.
Oh, absolutely.
You bet.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you bet. I'll see you soon.
Excellent.
Bye.